Penguin Random House Audio presents Plains by Peter C. Baker. Read for you by Lameece Issaq. Amira. 5 days a week she goes to Monty and works in a jewelry and clothing shop, doing whatever the owner says. To get there, she rides the bus or walks, depending on the weather and how well she's slept and how much she's already spent on bus fare that week. All the store's regulars know her. She's a part of the place. Sundays and Tuesdays, no one tells her what to do. She has to decide for herself. Sundays she stays in Esquilino, cleans the apartment, does laundry in the basement, goes out to buy food, cooks a large pot of something inexpensive and filling for the rest of the week. She could make the food in the pot better, more pleasing by adding spices, taking more care. It wouldn't cost anything. The spices are already in the pantry. She knows how to use them. But she's not cooking for pleasure. She's cooking because a person has to eat to stay alive. She calls her parents and tries to be interested in her mother's compulsive summaries of all her latest neighborhood gossip. Neither her mother nor her father asks many questions anymore, other than when she might visit next. Always with the implication, when might she come home forever? She walks to the internet cafe on the corner to write her emails and letters, pays 15 cents per page to have the letters printed. The cafe is run by 2 Somali men. Brothers, she thinks. They offer her tea, and she usually accepts. But no sugar, please. She is 32 years old, about to turn 33. Tuesdays, she wakes early, prays, listens to the radio forecast, packs a bag, and heads out wandering. She leaves Esquilino and crisscrosses the city, riding bus and train lines as far as she feels like going, sometimes all the way to the end of the line, or on the lines that have no end, past the point where they start looping back on themselves. When she gets off, she walks. She needs to be outside of the relentlessly still and empty apartment. She needs to be out of the neighborhood, away from everything that everyone there is thinking of her or might be thinking of her. She needs to be in motion, tiring out her body. Just another woman walking down the street, another woman stopping for coffee. Every night she follows the same bedtime routine. She prays. She changes into her nightgown. She goes to the kitchen. She drinks a glass of water. She refills the glass. She fills a second glass. She takes both glasses with her to the bedroom. She sets the bedside alarm for tomorrow morning. She goes to the living room. She checks that the door is locked. She turns out the living room light. She walks back to the kitchen, and if tomorrow is a workday, she sets the backup alarm on the counter. She has never slept through the bedside alarm, but if she ever does, she will lose a day's income, plus risk the anger of the shop owner, Elena, a woman who is cheerful in general but easily overwhelmed by surprises. She uses the toilet, flosses, brushes, gargles mouthwash, cleans her face, turns out the bathroom light. She goes to the bedroom and runs through a series of breathing exercises that were shared with her in an email from Ayub's lawyer, an American woman named Sarah, who knows some stilted Italian, which she insists on using in their conversations and most of their emails, despite the fact that her firm employs several competent translators. Some of these breathing exercises involve standing up, others require lying down. I myself have never been doing much of meditating or anything similar before, but these meditation have been helpful to me, at my surprise. For that reason, I have shared with many clients and many members family of the clients. This is the path she knows into sleep. She doesn't dare risk another route. Doesn't dare brush before flossing. Doesn't dare set the kitchen alarm before the bedside alarm. She needs to sleep so she can work. She needs to work so she can keep their apartment. She needs to keep their apartment so it is here for Ayub when he returns, so they can have their life back. At least twice a week, she gets woken halfway through the night by cats in the alley. It usually sounds like 2 cats. They start in a standoff, hissing. She pictures them as boxers circling each other, unsure who will throw the first punch or when. Then one pounces, unleashing a flurry of yowling and shrieking. She doesn't know if they're fighting or mating or both. She doesn't know if it happens every night or only on the nights when it wakes her up. She doesn't know when it started. She knows she never heard them before Ayub was gone. A year or so ago, she mentioned the cats in a letter, asking Ayub if he remembered them. But none of the letters she received after that contained an answer. Or, if they did, it was hidden by a censor's black bars. But an answer might still come. His letters arrive unpredictably, sometimes months after they've been written, sometimes referencing earlier letters he wrote that she never received, or failing to reference letters she sent him long ago. Whenever she checks the alley in the morning, the cats are gone. She's never actually seen them. To her, they're just sounds. She tried earplugs once, but the total silence they created sent her attention inward, to the movement of air and blood through her body, making it impossible for her to fall asleep. When the cats wake her, she lies still, does Sarah's breathing exercises, and tries not to worry. It's Tuesday, but she can't head out wandering at her usual hour. She promised Miriam, her best friend in Esquilino, that she would spend the morning at her apartment helping to prepare a birthday party for Neda, the older of Miriam's two daughters, who is turning 4. She suspects that Miriam has the preparations under control, that really she invited her over to make her feel needed. She doesn't want to go to the party, she would rather be out walking, but the only thing she wants less is to miss it, to imagine everyone discussing her absence. First, she runs errands. At the post office, she mails 4 letters, 1 to her senator, 1 to her deputy, 1 to the Minister of Justice, 1 to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Each is a slight variation of a letter she has sent many times before, and each will, in all likelihood, elicit, many months from now, a response that will be a slight variation of one she has received many times before. But she has been instructed by Sarah to continue sending them, and so she does, keeping copies of every letter and every response in a black plastic tub that sits on the kitchen table. "I know it may seem of 0 point," Sarah wrote, "but it is of importance for the creating of a continuing story." Next, she walks to her landlord's small office, planning to slip the rent check through the mail slot and be on her way. Unfortunately, the landlord's son is inside, scowling at a pile of papers on the desk. At first, she doesn't recognize him. When she last saw him, over a year ago, he was obviously a bored student, helping his father out of obligation and obligation alone. Now he is, or wants to be, a serious young Roman moneymaker. Complex haircut, leather jacket, massive watch. He beckons her in. What choice does she have? "Tell me," he says, "is there any word from Signor Alami?" "Thank you for asking," she says. His watch looks like it was polished that morning. "I actually received a letter just this week. He's well." "And everything is fine with the apartment?" "Yes, thank you." "No problems paying? By yourself? It's not too much of a burden?" "No burden, no." She reaches into her purse, takes out the envelope with the rent check inside, and holds it out. He ignores it. "It's a big apartment for one person, no?" "It would be a big apartment for one person, yes." "You still work in Monti?" "Yes." She wiggles the check. "They must pay you well." "Yes, thankfully." She says nothing about the money her parents wire her each month. The landlord's son stands up, walks halfway around his desk, and leans against it. Judging from the look on his face, he seems to believe that doing this increases his powers of contemplation. "You know, many people came to us. Many people. I can't say who. I shouldn't. People concerned, you know, about living so close to someone, or even the wife of someone. Well, many people." They said to us,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?